And welcome to our daily news program coming to you here on Canal Algérie. To the major headlines. Strict decisions protecting the citizen and in favor of students as well as the farmers affected by drought are highly welcomed following the last Council of Ministers and an increase in the solidarity allowance for the benefit of more than 1 million people. The late retired General Hussein bin Hadid is buried at the Ben Aknoun Cemetery in Algiers, and a speech highlighting his long and rich career was made while casting the last glance. At the initiative of the President of the Republic, Niger accepts Algeria's mediation in quest of finding a political solution for the crisis, and Attaf is soon in Niamey to initiate discussions on the implementation of the Algerian initiative with the concerned parties. Rashid Hashishi is appointed as the new CEO of Sonat Khak Group, succeeding Toufiq Hakar. The necessity to develop investment in the renewable energy sector is the heart of the International Fair for Energetic Transition and Future Energies, organized in Oran province. Good evening and welcome back. First up in our news, and among the many decisions taken in the Council of Ministers held on Sunday, the increase of the students' allowance by 35% was highly appreciated, a move that will undoubtedly benefit the students and the sector as a whole. Sabrin Taverganit with the details.
The decision of the Council of Ministers of the 35% increase in the monthly student grant is planned for this October. It will rise from 1,300 to 2,000 Algerian dinar per month, a measure that should help improve the social situation of students, a decision more than welcomed and widely hailed by students.
We welcome this initiative by the President of the Republic, an increase that came in the perfect time.
This increase is a plus for students, and it will help us in our daily life.
This increase has long been one of the demands of student unions as part of the reform of the university system. It will surely help ease the financial burden on students.
I think it's a really commendable decision to improve students' living conditions.
We're delighted with the increase. It will help us to cover our financial needs.
It's a decision that reflects the efforts of the state led by the President of the Republic to address the social and educational concerns of students. It should also help promote the higher education and scientific research sector.
And the farmers who suffered from drought this season will be helped according to measures announced in the last Council of Ministers, a decision of the head of state. Story by Rani Al-Bahri.
This is a positive announcement for farmers affected this year by drought. The decision to postpone payment of tax on land granted under concession, the suspension of reimbursement of agricultural credit (FIG) for a period of 3 years, the payment of the interest rate payable by the state, and the compensation of cereal producers and their provision of seeds and fertilizers free of charge. Measures decided by the President of the Republic, which comes at the right time for these farmers who haven't had a satisfactory yield.
I'm very happy about the decisions taken by the President of the Republic that will help us a lot. It will minimize losses and allow us to stand up again. This is a very good thing for us, especially with regard to the provision of free seeds. This will considerably encourage us to work harder.
Thanks to this initiative of the President of the Republic, farmers won't face difficulties to cultivate their land for this agricultural season. They suffered from heavy losses due to drought as well as bank credits. I would like to thank the President of the Republic on behalf of all farmers of the country. In the same context, the President of the Republic gave his instructions to accelerate the construction of grain storage silos in order to reach the capacity of 9 million tons.
After facing water problems because of drought, the province of Schliff was able to successfully maintain its second position in the citrus production at the national level. Yassine Hamdi tells us more.
Year after year, the lands of the province of Schliff keep the reputation of very fertile citrus growing lands, with 6,700 hectares dedicated to these juicy fruits. The brothers Ksrud cultivate 45 hectares of premium quality oranges and tangerines. This year with the drought, we faced water problems, but this year's production is more important than last year.
Grosso modo, la production de cette année est plus importante que l'année dernière.
Water problems and parasites didn't keep these lands from being productive. We are controlling mites and acarians. For the moment, there are no risks on the production. In a few weeks, we'll find these fruits in our markets at affordable prices, since this year's production is promising. Our target is to reach 200 hectares of citrus. We want at least to meet the needs of the province's market. With 1.5 million quintals expected this year, the province of Schliff keeps its second position in the citrus production at the national level, just after the province of Blida.
To this good news now of the Solidarity Allowance recently decided by the President of the Republic, now estimated at 7,000 dinars instead of 3,000, whereas the allowance for people with special needs has increased to 12,000 dinars instead of 10,000. The Ministry of Solidarity recalled on the occasion that 1,200,000 people will benefit from this decision. In other news, the retired General Hussein bin Hadid was buried on Monday at the Ben Aknoun Cemetery here in Algiers. The ceremony took place in the presence of the Army General Said Chengereha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, the Army General Commander of the Republican Guard, the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Defense, Forces Commanders, Commander of the National Gendarmerie, Commander of the 1st Military Region, heads of departments, directors and heads of central services at the National Defense Ministry and the High Command of the People's National Army, as well as members of the late's family. At the Army Central Hospital, Mohammed Sgher Nakash, the Army General Said Chengereha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, accompanied by senior officials of the PNA and hospital staff and the late's family members, gathered to read the Fatiha, or the opening chapter of the Holy Quran, in his memory. During a speech made on this occasion, the Communication and Information Director highlighted the qualities of the late and recalled his rich and lofty career as a war veteran, or mujahid, in the ranks of the armed forces of the National Liberation Army during the glorious Algerian Revolution, as well as a senior officer at the People's National Army. Let's have a listen.
With humble hearts and the belief in God's will and destiny, we stand in these sad and painful moments to take a final look and bid farewell to our deceased, the deceased of the National People's Army and Algeria, the late retired Brigadier General Hussein bin Hadid, who passed away on Sunday after severe illness. We are saddened by the loss of one of the most prominent and competent military leaders, who gave his youth and his life in the service of the National People's Army and Algeria. He was an example of a disciplined and trained military man, a role model, a leader with high competences, and a successful man who is sincere in performing his noble duties, and thus he won respect of his leaders and colleagues.
In a new development, the Algerian mediation was accepted in Niger. The Algerian government received via the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs a notification of acceptance of the Algerian mediation aimed at promoting a political solution to the crisis in Niger, in line with the settlement plan presented by the President of the Republic. This acceptance of the Algerian initiative will reinforce the option of finding a political solution to the crisis and paves the way for a peaceful settlement in the interest of Niger and the region as a whole. Acknowledging this notification, the President of the Republic instructed the Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad, Ahmed Attaf, to travel to Niamey as soon as possible in quest of initiating preparatory discussions on the implementation of the Algerian initiative with all stakeholders. The President of the Republic's initiative, which was warmly welcomed by the different stakeholders in Niger, came to reiterate Algeria's principles in support of the peaceful resolution of conflicts without the use of violence or any foreign interference. Rania al-Bahri tells us more.
Great hope opens a new horizon for resolving the crisis in Niger. It begins with an Algerian diplomatic initiative entitled The Political Solution and Return to the Constitutional Path. An initiative put forward by the President Abdelmajid Tebboune to spare Niger the threats of foreign military intervention and the repercussions that might result from them, which Algeria opposed in front of the representatives of the ECOWAS countries that came to it to recommend the option of using force to thwart the coup process, according to her, and neighboring countries quickly moved to consider any move against Niger as an attack on them. President Tebboune said that things became mixed up and Algeria took the initiative to find a solution, which made everyone find in it a salvation from a regional war that threatens the entire region. A month after the Minister of Foreign Affairs announced it, the state of Niger accepted Algeria's initiative, which considered it as a sister country and a moral and credible force. Algeria confirms its commitment to return to the constitutional order by peaceful means, giving priority to diplomatic political solutions and respecting the requirements of the rule of law, and calls for caution in the face of foreign military intervention.
I think that this is a logical initiative that allows a negotiation. This initiative puts forward a short transition period that can be discussed with the Military Council for Homeland Protection. When Algeria announced this initiative, we didn't hesitate to thank the Algerian state and people, as Algeria aims to resolve the crisis peacefully. I am happy that the Nigerian authorities have accepted the initiative of the brotherly country Algeria, proposed by the President Abdelmajid Tebboune. All these positions taken by the Algerian government, headed by the President Abdelmajid Tebboune, for the Nigerian people, made them happy about this mediation, especially as they know that Algeria doesn't have political yearnings.
This welcome was previously reflected in the trust placed by major countries in Algeria, its initiative, and the power of its persuasion, which Algeria worked on publicly and behind the scenes to formulate its steps in a careful balance with the conflicting parties in Niger and with the rest of the partners from neighboring countries, as well as international partners, to reach a solution. An agreement frees the country from the cycle of blackmail wrapped in security threats.
In a different story, the Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad Minister Ahmed Attaf received on Monday the General Director of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, Fernando Arias. The latter stressed that Algeria is an active country in the fight against chemical weapons and had an important role in facing worldwide challenges. In other news, the Minister of Energy and Mines, Mohamed Arqab, supervised at the headquarters of the National Oil and Gas Company, Sonatrach, the official installation ceremony of the new CEO of Sonatrach Group, Rashid Hashishi, succeeding Toufiq Hakkar, and that in the presence of officials of the Ministry and Sonatrach. On this occasion, Arqab reiterated that this decision aims to give a new impetus to one of the most important national institutions in light of the current challenges. Moving on to professional training, all institutions are ready to receive interns in the best conditions for the year 2023 session. This was stated on Monday by the sector's minister, Yassine Merabi, who was the guest of the national radio, where he evoked the new specialties meeting up the national economic demands. To Oran province now, where the 13th edition of the International Fair for Energetic Transition and Future Energies kicked off on Monday. It witnessed the participation of about 50 exhibitors, including a dozen or so of foreign ones. The fair is a space for exchange between the sector's professionals as well as the major actors of energetic transition in Algeria, such as Sonatrach, JICA, and others. And during this assessment meeting of the summer season, headed by the sector's minister, Mukhtar Didouche revealed on the occasion that Algeria received approximately 1.5 million foreign tourists between January and August of 2023. The southern provinces recorded 26,000 foreign tourists. 25,000 among them benefited from the procedure of getting visas on the spot, whereas 140 million people went to beaches this summer season. And Algiers Bureau for the Reconstruction and Support of Palestine, in cooperation with the General Union of Algerian Workers, organized a rally in support of Palestine, where the lifting of the blockade on Gaza was protested. The participants also hailed on the occasion Algeria's honorable position in support of the Palestinian cause. The Zionist exactions in Palestine are getting worse by the day. The Palestinian Minister of Education stated that the Zionist authorities obstructed the access of Palestinian students and teachers in 27 schools at the south of the West Bank, where the Zionist army incursions are taking place for months now, in addition to attacks carried out by settlers. In a different topic, a delegation of the Algerian National Committee for Solidarity with the Sahrawi people went to New York as part of the 78th General Assembly of the United Nations to petition the members of the Fourth Committee in charge of special political issues and decolonization regarding the conflict in Western Sahara. According to its president, Saeed Ayashi, the Algerian delegates will call for an effective and rapid referendum on self-determination for the Sahrawi people. They will denounce as well the Moroccan occupation of Western Sahara and its repeated human rights violation against Sahrawi civilians and the shameless plundering of Sahrawi natural resources, as well as the degrading situation of Sahrawi political prisoners in Moroccan jails. On this occasion, the delegation will also denounce the violation of the ceasefire by the occupying Moroccan troops in Western Sahara. To sports now, USM Algiers, the Algerian representative in the African Football Confederation Cup, validated its first ticket to the group phase of the event by settling for a 0 draw against FUS Rabat on Sunday in Miloud Hetfi Stadium in Oran for the second leg game of the competition. In a related topic, and as part of the CAF Champions League, the Algerian representative CR Bilwizdad won against the Sierra Leonean team of BO Rangers with 3-1 at the Miloud Hetfi Stadium in Oran for the second leg game. And with that, we come to the end for today's program. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.